Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a Good Guy Sports 2026 March Madness special. We are going to be giving you all of the big predictions, picks, upsets for this year's 2026 Men's March Madness tournament. As we record here, we are underway. A couple games have tipped off, but we've got a lot of tournament basketball left to be played. Of course, some of the teams that people will have their eyes on, number one seeds, Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and Florida. And then a lot of other strong teams with strong prospects, veteran players, big freshmen. I think personally, this is a really strong college basketball season, a strong field. I think we have a lot of teams in the hat that could possibly find their way to the Final Four and could possibly be a national champion. So I think we're going to be getting a lot of great college basketball here in late March, early April. Jackson, how excited are you for this year's tournament compared to other years, given the talent teams, et cetera, that we have on display this year?
Oh, I'm very excited. It's that time of year, every single year um, where anything can happen, and the beauty of this tournament, which really delivers in any way, and I am pumped for what is in store. I mean, about a few hours ago, we almost had an upset where we had our Duke Blue Devils survived in what was a great game, and they weathered the storm, and they avoided what would have been the number 1, 6 and number 1 and 16 seed upset of Siena. Just gave Duke a great game. They had the lead in the first half. But Duke just found a way. They're moving on now. Now that they're going to be taking on TCU in the next round, which TCU in that game won by 2 over Ohio State in their last game. So and so and then how about this one? You have High Point. They trailed by double digits, and they found a way to get it done, and they beat and they won the
Barely.
NCAA tournament time for the first time in school history over those Badgers of Wisconsin. And which if you really want to know now, if you really want to know where High Point is, it is a university located in North Carolina, about a few hours south from us where we live. And from what I hear, it's a and about an hour south, about an hour 29 minutes away south. And if you want to know about High Point University, it is a private university that's located in High Point, North Carolina. It's about an hour south of where we live, right outside of Greensboro, and that's really really they have a great basketball program, great coach, and they found a way to get it done. But that's not the only one that's standing out to me. The other game, um, the the other game, the other game that stood out to me is how about Nebraska getting their first ever NCAA tournament win over 13 ranked Troy. That's a great game. Game right there.
And I and I
Although that
believe, Mike, they were the last Power Five team to that's never won a tournament
Yeah,
game, which is
they finally Cornhuskers
that to me
finally
is
won.
that's an underrated stat. Like the only Power Five team to never
Hmm.
win a tournament game, and they were
Yeah,
a four seed this year as well. So it's not like they were like some
yeah.
slouch. So that's a crazy stat. But continue, Jackson.
yeah. So Nebraska just got their first NCAA tournament win. They are 0-4 in their previous appearances, but it resulted in a blowout, and that was what the Cornhuskers were up against. Now that matches up in the round of 32 in their next game against my brother's beloved Vanderbilt Commodores in the second round.
Boo.
So that's going to be some kind of some kind of game to watch because something's got to give in that matchup for one team or the other, right? So
Cornhuskers versus Commodores. I think I know who I'm taking.
but and then you also have and then you also have it in the South region is can the defending reigning national champion Florida Gators go back to back, and many experts and people think they can, but I don't know. But I wouldn't want to go that far because you look at the bracket that they're in the South region. That yes, their game tomorrow night at home in Tampa. It's going to be a home crowd um, it, environment in that game, and the fans. And it's going to be a easy travel for those fans traveling from Gainesville down to Tampa where that game's being played. Where that game is being um played, and and so for for me
Cool. What about like I'm gonna jump the mic here in a second, Jax, but just big picture, like tournament wise, was just one thing that you're really keeping an eye on overall, big picture in this tournament before I jump the mic.
big picture is
One thing, the one thing that you're looking for.
is there's one thing I want to right well there's one thing but I'm sure to jump to conversation wherever I can but after Mike talks here but one comment and I'm included but one thing I'm keeping an eye on is Caleb Williams injury for North Carolina. He may not play tonight against VCU because VCU is a team. I don't know if you remember, Mike, but they were the team that went from the first four to the final four back in 2011. The last time that happened, I believe it was like I believe that was like almost 13 to 15, 18 years ago. But that's something that's something that I'm going to have to that I that I have to keep my eye on heading as the games unfold in this tournament
Nice.
is is the one key factor that I have my eye on player wise for this tournament is without him they're just not going to be the same team, Blake.
Sure. Yeah, no, they're going to be a different team without him. That's for sure. Mike,
Yeah.
sort of same question to you. Just sort of big picture, like one thing that you're looking forward to seeing or got your eye on just overall in this tournament.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to tomorrow and this weekend because I think that's where you're going to see any of the upsets.
Sure.
I think the Final Four is still this year going to end up being a combination of one and two seeds. So I don't really see any surprises at the tail end.
Okay.
Certainly surprises so far, and I think that exciting games this year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
I'll get your full
mhm.
Final Four prediction here in a second as well. Blake Lamberger, sort of one thing that's jumping out to you that you're looking forward to in this tournament, man.
Oh man. I don't say this lightly, but Duke dominating, winning it all. Not too far down the road from you guys. The show, they should have been the number one all along. I'm looking for some domination out of Duke. I think they're thriving at the right time.
They didn't do it today.
They'll have to play better than they did against Siena today, obviously getting the job done there.
They almost got whipped.
Obviously, somebody's a little behind on watching, so that was a little bit of a spoiler alert. I'll catch up tonight. Sorry
No,
about that.
don't worry. They won the game, but it was not a comprehensive victory, shall we say. But hey, listen, survive and advance, Mike. That's the name of the game,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
So,
So I'm
but
watching my next UCF
mhm.
beating UCLA.
Is that okay? That's an upset prediction there.
That's an upset prediction.
Okay. Keep an
And
eye on that one.
their coach, Johnny Dawkins, Former Duke star.
Yep. Very nice. Okay. UCF. That's one we'll have to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Jackson, I think it's time. I want to get your full predictions. So there's three questions I'm going to ask you that you have to answer. You ready?
Yep.
I would like to know your Final Four prediction, the team that you think will pull off an upset, and you can't pick from the ones that have already happened, and then a team that you think will be a big disappointment that's heavily favored, different from the one in the upset, if that makes sense. So, what do you got for me, man?
Okay, here we go.
I think your mic is not connected to your pull your mic up to your mouth there.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna. How's this?
Yeah, just put it close to your mouth there. Yep.
Um, sorry. How's this?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay. Okay. So, here we go. In my men's bracket, I have Duke, Houston, Arizona, and Michigan advancing in my Final Four bracket, and I have the Arizona Wildcats beating the Duke Blue Devils in the national championship game. The Wildcats are going to cut down the nets, and they're going to beat our beloved Duke Blood Devils. Here first.
Wow. Okay. So you have Arizona winning all you said?
I do, yes.
What do you think it is about Arizona that gives them the edge over the Blue Devils?
Well, I think they're a resilient group. They have a great group of guys and a great locker room, and they got a bunch of star players. And I think that, and yet it's a team that's never been past the Sweet 16, but it's their shot of revenge and redemption. And I think that this Arizona team is capable of doing it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm a bit disappointed that you're not picking the Blue Devils to win it all. But hey, listen, you're going with your head over your heart. I respect that. What about an upset pick? Obviously, we saw High Point today. Mike just gave us UCF up at 10-7. Any upsets that you feel strongly about, Jack?
Oh, I think Mike Lumberger's going to love this one. I'm going to go with Queens University out in Charlotte beating the 15th seed beating the Purdue Boilermakers tomorrow night.
That's a great upset. Wow. Queens University. Yeah. Charlotte's finest. That would
If you want
be
to, yeah, that's right. If you want to know more about Queens University, well, they're a private university, shared with Elon University, and that's one of the great finest schools out in the Queen City of Charlotte, and that from what I hear, they have a great program of sports wise and academics, and in a great private university, and that's really all I know about Queen's University.
okay. Well, what else do you need to know? It's March, right? All you need to know is just the name of the school, maybe even where it's from. And that's enough to make a prediction in my book. What about a team apart from, I guess you mentioned Purdue there, but a different team that you think should be on upset alert that people fancy their chances, but you're not quite sure about them. Anybody jumping out in that category, Jack?
Well, I talked about the Florida Gators on this um on 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 the show just about a few seconds ago. I mentioned about them. Well, it from to be clear, to get to the arena from the campus, it actually takes about an hour 58 minutes mi minute drive to get the minutes for the fans to get down there They are going to travel down there very well, which they should quite unexpectedly, which should be easy travel for those fans as they take on Prairie View, which got their first NCAA double A win in the first four 3 nights ago. But I'm looking at this bracket, and a few things that stood out to me is the first thing is that you have Missouri hosting.
Yep.
Is that is
So
that yeah? So sorry, is that you have Missouri hosting hosting a game in their home state in St. Louis against Miami, then of course Florida taking on Perryview and Tampa. But I'm and then and then looking ahead, if they were to win this game, they would have to play the winner of Clemson, Iowa. But but I will not want to look ahead if I'm a Gator fan. Looking ahead against Clemson and Iowa, those teams are pretty good and decent.
So
In my
what's the
opinion.
what's the pick there? What's the team that's on upset alert here? I'm hearing a lot of different things here. Come on.
Okay, so I think Florida is
You
going
think
to
Florida's
be.
going to lose to Prairie View?
No, no, no.
Oh, okay.
I actually have them. No, no, no. I
I
actually
thought
have
I had
them
you there for a second.
upsetting the against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Now look, Vanderbilt
Wait, so
beat them.
what's the prediction? You're saying Vanderbilt will beat Florida in the Elite Eight?
Yes, I have Vanderbilt beating
Nice.
Florida in the Elite Eight. I
I
mean,
like
if you
that.
look at Vanderbilt, what they did in the semifinals in the NCAA tournament,
They
they
beat their
beat them
they
in
beat their butts. Yeah.
in a Valley blowout. Yeah, and so if okay, so the winner of that game will take on the Houston Cougars, which it will be a home game being played in the Toyota Center in Houston. And okay, so I wouldn't say okay. So let's say if Florida does beat Vanderbilt, and if they then all of a sudden it becomes a very tough situation. You have to go on the road at in Houston against Houston as Toyota Center in front of their home crowd. Just the Florida fans taking the crowd of it, and that's going to be a very tough situation for
For
them.
sure.
So,
For sure. Yeah,
and
no, no. Good picks. Good picks.
and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so I think for me now, let me remind you that this Florida team did um did did play in the Final Four in the Golf Truck Final Four last year, and they found a way to win the championship and in the Final Four in the day before. But that's no stranger for what Todd Golden and all who's better and guys have done in the team.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. So I think that's a good pick. And yeah, no, no,
but
no.
yes,
Good pick. Good pick. Yeah,
no,
no.
no, yeah,
I think Florida will be on. We'll keep in that region, the South region. We will put Florida on upset alert for sure. They're not a cakewalk to the Final Four. So I like that picture. I like that
no.
pick a lot. I'm gonna jump to Mike now. I want to get Mike your first of all. So same questions. I want to get your Final Four prediction.
So my final four is I didn't copy Jackson's, but I got the same final four.
Wow. Okay. How about that?
Duke, Houston, Arizona, and Michigan.
Okay. Okay. So similar reasons that Jackson mentioned. Maybe you're a little bit unsure about Florida as a repeat champion.
Yeah,
Houston,
I think Houston comes out of the South.
good. That's a good ball team for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have Arizona winning the national championship.
Wow.
And the main reason is they're healthy.
Sure.
And I think that bodes a lot.
This time of year, having the guys that you want on the court is obviously crucial for sure. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
can't argue with that.
And my big upset
Okay, here we go.
for this weekend, number 13 Hofstra beating the Tide will beat Alabama, number 4 Alabama.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I like that pick. I like that pick.
Mike, is that a football school reference? Alabama's not a basketball school. Is that why they go down? They're a football school?
I don't think so. Their star player is been suspended.
That's right.
Is
Yeah.
out.
That's right.
And Hofstra being the champion of the CAA, but they did beat Syracuse, Pitt, and they only lost to UCF by 4. They've got one of the better defenses in the country, and I think Hofstra is one of the Cinderellas coming out of this weekend.
What's the
Okay.
mascot? Are they the Pride? What's
They're the
Hofstra?
Pride. Yeah,
Oh, really?
Hofstra's
That
the
is
Pride.
okay. I didn't
The
know that.
Pride beat the Tide.
Pride. Okay, I got
Pride
it.
versus the
That's a
Tide.
good take. Great take.
You love a good rhyming scheme, Mike. I know that about you for sure.
That's the only way I can remember anything.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so apart from Bama, any other teams that you think should be on upset alert, or maybe just a team that you think might flop that has high expectations?
Uh, Not so high expectations, but I have VCU beating UNC.
Okay.
And I have St. Louis beating Georgia.
Okay, very nice.
Ooh.
That's
I
not
was
such an upset. That's a number 9 beating a number 8.
right. But I think a
But
lot of people see that and think, well, like a SEC school versus whatever
mhm.
conference St. Louis is in. But I
Well,
mean,
St. Louis is a excellent 3-point team.
okay,
They've been averaging about 30 points a game from the 3-point line.
wow,
And Georgia is great in the paint in their defense,
sure,
but they can stay in the paint all they want as long as St. Louis is hitting those 3-pointers. It doesn't really matter.
absolutely. I think that's a matchup that a lot of people had circled for sure in their brackets. So
Yeah.
Who does Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play for?
he was a UCLA. Oh,
UCLA.
you're talking about the guy whose nickname who like the white
Yes,
guy? Yeah.
yes. Who does
I don't think he was a tournament team actually. I think he was
I
uh
thought that was everybody's upset pick. No?
I thought he played for or no, so yeah, you're right actually. So he played for Indiana State and I think he transferred to St. Louis. So yeah, he would be for St. Louis
Yeah.
in that game, yeah.
Yeah.
There you
All right.
go.
So keep an eye on the big white guy for St. Louis
Yeah.
is could be a Georgia killer there, according to Mike. So I like that pick. Good pick there, man. BL Limburger, I'm gonna jump to you for your predictions now. I don't know if you've seen the bracket or have the predictions, but what do you think your Final Four predictions would be?
Same Final Four. However, we obviously know with Duke's monumental, huge win today that they're going to just dominate in the championship game. And they're going to
You've got
take,
okay,
yeah. Duke wins it all
Duke to win it all. I like it. I like it. Yeah, and I
by
think
10. By 10.
okay, I
I
like
like the
that. I
bold
like that.
predictions. Yeah.
What about any upsets? Any you can pick one that we've already mentioned, but
I
any other upsets you like?
I think Carolina is going. Now this hurts to say, but I think Carolina is going to go deeper than people think. They're a streaky
Ah,
team. If they
interesting.
get hot, they can make a run. So I think Carolina is going to go a little deeper than people
For
think.
sure, yeah. They've got they would play the winner of Illinois versus Penn in that game. So certainly,
So they got all they got left. They're a basketball school. They got nothing else left. They're terrible in football. They're just that's all they got left. They got to do something.
yeah, fair enough,
Great
fair enough.
athletes, great recruiting.
What about a team that you think will flop? You got any flops out there? Big teams that you think are going to have a tough tournament?
Uh, no, no. No flops. No
Okay.
flops this year. Yeah.
He's keeping it positive, Jackson. No flops for Blake.
Uh,
I thought he was going to say
I thought, yeah, I thought I was going to for a second, but watch out for Santa Clara as another team to keep an eye on.
whoa. I haven't done my predictions yet. You're already jumping the ears.
Well, I know, but if you remember, Blake,
All you're
uh,
saying is keep an eye on Santa Clara. That's all
yeah,
you're saying, right?
because let me tell you something, Blake.
Okay.
There's a recent history bias on this program. They had a player, the greatest basketball player of all time, played there, named Steve Nash. Went to school there, and he took it, and he was by far one of the
He's not
least.
still playing for them, is he?
No, but he did back in the day, and he was one of the greatest lead scorers of all time that played for that school. And he made a lot. He made a lot of history and a lot of points and assists by every category in that school. So, and there had a lot of history in the tournament. So that's something that I would have to be on the lookout. If you're the Kentucky Wildcats going up against the Santa Clara team
Okay.
because this team they can really score and just beat you in any way.
Well, let me give my predictions before you steal any of my picks, because that's a good one. That wasn't what I was going to say though, so you're fine. You're fine. So for my final four, I happen to have so of the teams that we mentioned before, I do have 3 1 seeds, being Duke, Arizona, and Michigan to progress. However, I do have, and you call me biased if you want, probably true, but I have the Vanderbilt Commodores coming out of the South region, Jackson, to advance to the Final Four. So I have a Duke Vanderbilt Final Four game in Indianapolis. How about that?
Well, that doesn't get any. Wow, that doesn't get any better than that. I thought
Hey,
everybody.
listen. Both teams won their games today, right? So I'm sitting pretty, right, Mike, so far?
Yeah. Anchor
Now,
down.
Blake, is that if nobody falls off the court, the 4-foot drop?
Hey, luckily, there's no games taking place in Nashville on campus, Blake. So no worry about court drops, as far as I'm aware, anyways. And then here's a little upset pick for you guys here. This is going to be, I'm going out on a ledge here. I feel like we've given some decent upsets. Jackson gave Queens over Purdue, which is a pretty big one to be fair. How about this one? How about the University of Kansas is going to be upset by Cal Baptist, California Baptist Lancers, 13 seed. I think this is a Kansas team that has high expectations, but is also pretty fragile. I think they've played some games. They have some high prospects. Some of these guys have missed some games. I think Cal Baptist is going to come in there and surprise a few people, but upset pick Cal Baptist over Kansas. What do you think about that, Jackson?
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean,
I could be.
like I said, anything can happen in the tournament, and I do think that whether it's anywhere between a 16 and 13 seed will be almost higher today, like I said earlier. But I think it's fairly Dixon beating Purdue and
Yeah,
UMBC Baltimore beating Virginia back in 2018. Those are some
almost
memorable
Duke today.
memories today. And yeah, we all close for so close for Siena. If you ever heard of Siena, it is a school in upstate New York, about an hour north of Manhattan. So
Yeah,
one of their coaches actually was on the 2003 NCAA Championship Syracuse team. They had a lot of history there, and from what I hear about Siena, they're going to the tournament and a lot of history in that program, and they won their conference title in that program history, and those boys up in New York have really loved what they're saying. But
yeah, for sure. All right, now, Mike, just quickly, you're upset, man. Cal Baptist over Kansas. Am I talking nonsense, or are you backing me up there?
No, go for it. They got as good a chance of winning as anybody.
Okay, there you go. I'm not telling you to put your house on it, but that's just one that I picked out. I think Kansas is a little bit overrated in my opinion. I think they're kind
Hmm.
of get that blue blood status. Same thing with we mentioned Jackson mentioned Kentucky over Santa Clara over them. You kind of get that.
Yeah.
Well, it's Kansas, it's Kentucky. Surely they'll beat XYZ, but it's not. I mean, obviously you got to play the game, right? As Duke saw today as well. So,
Mhm.
and then just as well, I think one team that I don't think they're going to lose their first game, but I don't think UConn is going to have a great tournament. I know might be controversial. I know Jackson likes UConn. He's a big Hurley guy, but I think UConn is going to flatter to deceive, particularly in the East region where you have some strong teams. Duke, Michigan State, even like a St. John's is a strong team from that.
I was gonna say they're gonna lose to St. John. How about that matchup? That's
UCLA
two.
is in there as well.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Mike thinks they're going to lose,
Yeah.
but I just think UConn is going to have a tough tournament,
Well,
particularly in that tough region.
yeah, I mean, St. John's is going to end up playing Duke in the first round of the Sweet 16. Then
After they beat
Mike, is
Cal
that an upset
Baptist.
alert? Is that an upset
no,
alert?
no, Saint Duke will beat St. John's.
Okay, okay.
You
And
think
then
no Patino magic there?
yeah, and then you probably have Louisville playing UConn in the first round of the Sweet 16. Uh, but I don't know.
Yeah. Don't forget about
That's
Michigan State as well, Mike.
well, they
yeah,
don't have in the tournament.
yeah,
Sparty's there, so I mean that's I mean the East is a brutal region this year for
yeah.
sure.
I actually have Louisville over Michigan State.
Okay, look at you. How about the Cardinal, huh?
Yeah, well, you gotta support the ACC.
Keep an eye on that region for sure, for sure.
Now,
All
This
right.
is
yeah. All right. All right. Now,
Yep. Last
let me
word to you, Jack.
my last word is let me just say this now. Now I have mentioned that this Florida Gators team thought that they were going to repeat it and do it again. Well, this year's team is different than last year's team because of how special of a class and group it was. Because let's let's be real for a second. That this basketball team by Florida Gators, known as a new nickname, the team known as Rowdy Reptiles, any of those fans part of the Gator Nation and for the for the incredible run that they had last year. Well, let me remind you that last year's team was very special because we had one player, junior, who was a graduate player who played for Rick Pitino at Iona. But this year's team is far. But let me remind people that this year's team is far more different than they were last year because of how great of a recruiting class Rupert Glide had they had in the Eagles locker room. But this year it's far more different. They have a tougher path. They more that they have to go to that they have to if they were to beat Vanderbilt, like I said, they have a tough road ahead of them. They got to beat Houston
For sure.
Houston in Toyota Center and again. What would it be a title? I think it could happen, but you never know. But like I said, but again,
tough road to the Final Four, huh?
That's right. Yeah. They play Stoops up at home in their home out there in Houston Cougar land. It's a tough crowd for them. Just taking their home crowd out of it, which I feel like been a trend for this year since they play tournament. But yeah, you have Thomas Hall and other Ross who haven't played in those guys, but as much as I love the season repeat at Simon at in the NCAA tournament, UConn's done it. They would have joined UCLA as a team to really going to make the title happen. But I think the season is going to end against Vanderbilt in the Elite Eight round of 32 field. Area.
For sure. No, it'll be a tough road to the Final Four. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, lots of tough teams, lots of good players, legendary coaches. So listen, everyone out there, enjoy it. Those are the official predictions, upsets, Final Four on behalf of Good Guys Sports. I want to thank you all for listening and viewing. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video, and we'll be back with more sports content soon. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys.